wherever you are in the world, we're doing an update on the intention candles from our full moon in Sag, and they are doing amazing. They're doing amazing. The glass is looking super clear. The flames are nice and strong. I think that it's actually kind of cool because even though you can't see it now during the daytime, last night when I was taking a look at it, there was like a white halo going around the top of Lorraine's candle, which is a reminder of, you know, divine protection, that your angels are with you. I thought that was really, really cool. And I wanted to let you guys like see it real time. Like this is what I get to look at when the candles are burning. And it's so peaceful. Hey Risa. It's so peaceful to watch them burn. I love how clear the glass is. And they're happy out here. They're happy out here. I'm gonna be setting up to do readings soon. I'm gonna get ready to do a Wheel of Fortune spin. I'm just waking up. I've only been awake maybe 15 minutes. I was up until like 5 o'clock in the morning. Just, you know, being a crazy Sag. And, you know, it is now like 1 o'clock or something here. I woke up about 15 minutes ago. Yeah. So I've already made my coffee. That's done. And I'm going to get ready to go live. Do a Wheel of Fortune spin. But I wanted to let you guys see the candles. Yeah. Oh, I knocked out. Once I knocked out, I knocked out. I got to go back and rewatch what I was listening to. Things I'll put on at night when I go to bed are usually like longer things that I know, like once I'm out, I'll be out for a while. And if it turns off, it's not a big deal, because I don't know about you guys, but if I'm listening to something going to sleep and it turns off too soon and it's over too soon, I will wake up and then just be like, because, you know, I essentially took a nap and then I can't go back to sleep. But I was listening to the Leo King. Like, y'all know me, I'm not like super political on the channel. I don't really do political astrology and things like that. But if I'm going to listen to anybody about political astrology, it's the Leo King. There is no one more accurate, as far as I'm concerned, than him. I've watched other astrologers try and make political predictions and their own biases kind of get in the way. And even though, you know, he has his own political opinions, like he really does look at the stars and look at the patterns in history. And it's like, you know, I'd like to say this, but the pattern shows this. Like, this is what we're looking at. This is what is potentially coming up. This is what it's potentially even going to be over. And he's been right every single time I've ever listened to him doing, you know, prediction astrology on world events and stuff like that. So if you guys are curious about the political climate and political astrology, the Leo King is absolutely the person to listen to. And I understand Leviticus B. Barbeau. I appreciate your presence. I hope you have a wonderful day. But yeah, what is it all about, Stuart Clayton? So these are intention candles. You know, we get prayer candles and we set intentions to release certain energy that might be blocking us, whether it's wishing there was more to life, or discouragement over creating new, or feeling guilt over being happy, or thinking that you're alone, right? We release different things that we don't want to feel, and then we welcome in different things that we do want to feel, like stable and successful partnerships, seeing our true value as individuals, you know, excitement over new possibilities, things that we want to replace what we're letting go of. It's our intention to let those energies within the self go. And what we what we truly do want to feel instead. And we focus on it throughout the week. We give it energy throughout the week to really remind ourselves that we're not going to hold on to these, negative feelings or negative beliefs about the self or life or, whatever God, spirit, source there is higher than us, and bring in better energy. And it's the daily focus, the daily reminder that really helps the intention start to take root in ourselves and our energy. And then at the end, when the candle is done burning, we can do what is called a candle reading. And I do them live here. But we're going to go over the results at the end, and it kind of shows you where you might still be blocked with the intention releasing certain things, or where you might be having a hard time letting in certain positive things. Sometimes people are more than willing to let go of the negative, but they have a really hard time welcoming in the positive simply because they're just not used to it. It's like someone who's never been loved their whole life, and they've been betrayed by people that were supposed to love them their whole life, and you're asking them to welcome love in, and they don't know what that feels like. It's almost intimidating to be loved, because then you don't even know if you're going to lose it. So, we go over the candles for full moons and new moons to help us stay focused throughout the year on a bi-weekly basis. Full moons and new moons alternate every 14, 15 and a half days. And it's been a great tool, not just for myself, but for a lot of my followers over the years. This is the first time I've actually done them public on the channel. We've been doing them members only for quite a while, and even before that, before I even ever did them on YouTube, we were doing them in a private Facebook group and called Love Yourself. It's no longer functioning. That ended up and becoming a membership tier on the channel. But yeah, this is to just help focus and remind ourselves that we are the creator in our life, that our guides and guardians, spirit, God, our angels are with us. They're a part of our team and they don't want us to suffer. Like, our highest self is loving life and grateful for all that we've been through. And these candles are a reminder. It's something that we could see. It's something that we could watch. It's something that, in a sense, we can measure and improve on. And it's been a really, really helpful tool. So these are the intention candles. These are our intention candles. And they are prayer candles. You can make your own at home. You could do this for yourself. I do them here on the channel for people like Lorraine, like Elisa, who have been following me forever. They're my soul family now. They've gone beyond the realm of just clients, like they're my soul sisters now. But we've been doing this for a while, and it's a really helpful tool. You really can't fail at intention candles so much as, it's a reminder of what you're good, where you're good, and where you can continue to improve on yourself, depending on the results. I highly encourage people to, even make their own at home. I do them here, and I burn them safely here. Like, obviously I've got, fireproof surface down there, and typically, the candles are fine. As long as you practice safe burning techniques, they're fine. But we always do a focus that we are reminded of throughout the burn. That's what you guys are seeing up here. These are the main focuses of the candles. And then all of the things that we're releasing and welcoming in are on the sides. And it's about being really honest with yourself, about what it is that you need to let go of. And I always tune into spirit, being a channel, being an intuitive, I always tune into spirit and pull up what they need to focus on and what they can bring in instead. Like right now, my candle, I'm letting go of a frustration with spirit and welcoming in an acceptance of what is in my best interest, my highest good. And knowing that it's not always what we think it should be, but that it is in fact always divinely perfect. You know, it really is. It's always divinely perfect. The universe, God, doesn't make mistakes. You know, and we go through things in this life to heal certain things. Was our intention when we were born to heal, you know, heal things in our family lines, heal things in our own personal history, you know, over the course of lifetimes. And we work on it step by step, a little bit at a time. You know, we're not trying to release thousands of years of karma all at once. We do it on a bi-weekly basis with the moons, and we work on these things. Some things come up more than once. Some things disappear for a while and end up coming back, you know. Healing and growth and accepting spirit, God, source, you know, creator energy, and welcoming in the divine plan of things, you know, that there is no mistakes, and we just need to figure out what was the purpose of it all, you know, in our experiences with people and different places. And, you know, there's always a reason why, you know, it's not random. And if you can figure it out, you know, your inner world and healing your own shadows and loving yourself there. I mean, you can call it witchcraft. I am not offended. I don't necessarily call myself a witch. You can, I mean, it's witchy things maybe, but I mean, we don't curse anybody here. You know, like, we're not over here doing voodoo and shit. These are prayer candles, you know, but if you're not necessarily religious and you do want to focus on healing yourself, there is great wisdom in old medicine. You know, we do use herbs and we do use crystals and we do use salt because there are thousands and thousands of years that back the use of these things as tools, you know? So, I mean, if you want to call it witchcraft, I mean, you can, but I just don't, I think that does it a disservice. I think calling it witchcraft does it a disservice. I think it's so much more than that. I think it's so much more than that. And I wouldn't ever diminish the beauty of what this really is, you know, that people open up and allow themselves to see where most people refuse to see, right? They choose to ignore it or hide it or deny the fact that it's there. You know, people don't heal. They choose their shortcomings. Well, this is just how I am. It's how I've always been. And, you know, people can accept me in my bad shadow state, you know, like we talk about it, you know, hurt people. And people, you know, bleed on the people that didn't create the wound. You know, they bleed on people who didn't cut them. And this is about figuring out where we can improve so that we don't be that person. You know, we don't want to bleed on the people who didn't cut us. We don't want to be in a place of, you know, suffering and pain and just pretend like it'll never go away, when we do have guides and guardians and angels that support our healing in this life. And we call them in. We call in our angels. You know, I call in my angels all the time. And I trust them. So, I mean, yeah, Dodge City Kid, like, you can call it witchcraft. And it doesn't bother me because, I mean, I know what it is. You know, I know what this really is. So, you know, I encourage you to have an open mind and open heart. And if not, well, then best to you on your journey. I do hope that you go and find whatever healing you need in this life with or without intention candles. You know, it's not something that everybody is guided to. Otherwise, I'd have a whole lot more than just 3 candles up there, you know, but for those that are, it's helped them a lot. And this is just the first event where I've had them live in public for quite some time. And Spirit guided me to do that. So I don't argue with my angels, you know. I don't argue with my angels. I think it's important for people to see it and realize it's not just a bunch of, you know, bubble, bubble, toil, and trouble. Put a dead man's toe in a cauldron. It's so stupid. That's so stupid. We've got, you know, like cool little herbs in there. It smells amazing in here. It's nice. It's nice, and it's a beautiful thing. You know, it's a beautiful thing that people can accept their angels in, their guides in, their light in, and accept that they don't want to feel certain things anymore, and are willing to do the inner work. You know, it's just not a, you know, a lottery ticket that just, you know, you snap your fingers and you fix it. This is to help you see where your energy is and where you can improve it by the end, you know. Like I said, we do it on a bi-weekly basis, and I greatly appreciate both Lorraine and Elisa for doing these candles with me live, because, you know, this is them being fearless and really letting other people see that the journey is what you make it. I think they're super powerful individuals. I think they're amazing women, and I am grateful and honored to be a sister of theirs in soul, and I appreciate them for being here to do this and show people that it's okay to accept where you're at and where you want to be, and what that means as far as leaving certain feelings behind, right? Leaving certain mindsets or certain perspectives behind. You know, at some point you got to move on. You can't let the pain linger. You can't let it rot. You know, if you have a wound, you're going to clean the wound, you're going to treat it, and you're going to cover it and make sure that it has time to heal. It's no different with the soul. You just can't ignore the fact that the wound is there and not treat it. It'll get worse. You know what I mean? If you were to just get a cut and not clean it and not treat it, it would just get worse. It's no different with the soul. You know, this is our way of saying, I know my soul's been hurt. I know that I've been wounded, and I am responsible to clean it. You know, whatever cuts you in life, you know, whether you trip on something outside or you get injured by somebody else, like, chances are it's not cleaning your wound for you. Like, you didn't wound yourself. More than likely you didn't wound yourself. So does that mean you're not responsible to help take care of it and clean it and make it better? Chances are if you get a cut, it wasn't your fault, but you are responsible to take care of it so that it doesn't get worse. I believe in angels and God. I just don't, I mean, you can call it whatever you want. I say God, source, creator, because I don't really know its name. It's that higher energy that connects us all. I absolutely do believe in angels and God. You know, I believe that we're all connected to that higher vibration if we choose to embrace it as a part of who we are, you know, as being in a state of gratitude for the way that, you know, quote unquote, God works, and the angels in service to that highest power that are in service to us. You know, they want our highest good. They want us to feel blessed. Like, life was not intended to be painful and suffering forever and ever and ever. You know, God is the way. God is the way. And the light is the way. It's painful to be in the shadow. It's painful to be in the dark. You know, it doesn't feel good to know that we've hurt people, intentionally or unintentionally, because we ourselves were wounded and didn't take the time to look at it and heal it. You know, I don't ever want the things that I've gone through, you know, taking on wounds from my parents or exes or old friends. Like, I don't ever want my wounds to bleed onto my son. You know, I don't want him to feel the same pain. And the only way to do that is to effectively take responsibility for the wounds that I have and start to clean them, start to take care of them so that they heal, so that they're not bleeding on the people that I love or the people that I have yet to meet that I'm destined to love. You know, I want to bring my best self forward always, no matter where I'm at or who I'm talking to, or, you know, anything. I live by a golden rule. I treat people the way that I would want to be treated. And in order for me to respect them in the highest and hold consideration for them in the highest and love for them in the highest, I have to heal myself. I have to take responsibility for my healing. And me and Lorraine and Lisa and the different people that have done candles over the years understand that. The best way to love other people is to truly heal yourself so that you don't bleed on the people who didn't cut you, you know? And that's the big thing. So I appreciate you guys being in the chat. I'm glad you guys are asking the questions. I look forward to a lot more moon events and updates with these candles. I do them on a daily, so as these candles burn, I'll go live again tomorrow and give you guys the update on how they're doing. And I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all for your presence. You know, it's a beautiful thing to embrace love and light, to embrace healing. So thank you, everyone. And I'll see you guys in a little bit on the channel. I'm going to get ready and we're going to go live and we're going to spin the wheel and see what kind of energy is out there. And yeah, if this is where I catch you and I don't ever get to see you again, then I hope you have a truly blessed day, wherever you are, whoever you are. And I wish you nothing but the best healing. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.